This is the Biology Unit 4 revision video looking at transpiration and the factors that will affect the rate. Some plants are very big and they need to move substances from one part of the plant to another. So for example, they need to move water from the roots to various other parts of the plant, and also sugars that are made during photosynthesis in the leaves to other parts of the plant. Now, the parts of the plant that help to move these substances around are the vascular tissue that we looked at in the last revision video. And these are the xylem and the phloem. So the xylem is responsible for the movement of water through the plant, and this movement of water is what we call transpiration. And the phloem is responsible for the transport of dissolved sugars, for example, and this is what we call translocation. Now, the xylem continuously moves water and minerals from the roots up to the leaves, and this action is what we call the transpiration stream. Now, plants need water for various different processes. Now, these are listed here. It's needed along with carbon dioxide to carry out photosynthesis. Just as it does in animals, it cools down the plant to prevent overheating. It's important for osmosis that the water can enter the cells, make them turgid, which provides support to the plant. And also, it provides a transport vehicle for dissolved minerals that are needed in various different parts of the plant. So this transpiration stream isn't just there for no reason. These are the reasons that water needs to be transported throughout the plant. Now, in these next series of diagrams, we'll be able to have a closer look at what happens during transpiration or in the transpiration stream. Now, this structure here is a root hair cell, and the roots of plants contain many of these, and these are there to increase the surface area for absorption of water and minerals. So we will get from the soil water and dissolved minerals entering the root hair cell and travelling through these cells in the root to the xylem. Now here we can see that the water and dissolved minerals have reached the xylem vessels in the stem from the xylem vessels in the root. So the water and dissolved minerals make their way up the xylem vessels and they will enter into the leaf of the plant. Now the water will make its way into the cells of the leaf, and when it comes to the air spaces in the spongy mesophyll, the water will evaporate out of the leaf through the stomata. So as we can see, we're getting a constant movement from the soil throughout the plant and out into the air. Now, due to a lot of the adaptations that the leaf has to be efficient in the process of photosynthesis, it also means that the plant can lose a lot of water via transpiration. Now, there are ways that the plant can reduce this loss of water. The first one being, at the top of the leaf you'll know that there will be a waxy cuticle. There is also one on the underside of the leaf. Now, this does not allow water to evaporate through the cells of the leaf and out into the air. There are not a lot of stomata on the upper and lower surfaces of the leaf, and this will prevent too much water being lost. If the plant lives in a dry area, then they often have fewer stomata to prevent water loss, and they are found on the inner surface of a rolled leaf, protected from the sun. So this rolling action will trap the water underneath and prevent the rate of transpiration being very quick. This is a photograph of a radish plant root, and you can see here that we've got lots of root hairs coming away from the root, and this will increase the surface area, and along these root hairs we will have root hair cells, which will again increase the surface area even further. Now, this process of transpiration has to be controlled, and this happens via small openings on the underside of the leaf called stomata. Now, in this one we can see that this stomata is open, and this is caused by these two cells either side of the opening called guard cells. Now, when there's lots of light and water present, these guard cells will take up water by osmosis, swell, become turgid, and this causes them to bend and open. Now this will allow carbon dioxide and oxygen to diffuse in and out of the leaf. And of course, if we can get carbon dioxide and oxygen diffusing in and out of the leaf, we can also get water vapour leaving the leaf. And this is where, if it's open like this, we will get quite a lot of water loss. On the flip side, if there is not a lot of water, then the guard cells will become flaccid, they will not become turgid, they will not swell, and they will not open the stomata, they will remain closed, so that we cannot get as much carbon dioxide and oxygen diffusing out of the leaf. And of course, if this closes and remains closed, then we're not going to lose as much water via transpiration. Now, the fact that these guard cells can be open or closed is an adaptation of the leaf when it comes to the loss of water. Now, when the plant is photosynthesizing through the day, the stomata will be open, but at night they don't need to be open, so they will be closed, and this reduces the water loss. Now, there are four main factors that affect the rate of transpiration. These are as follows: light intensity, the temperature, the wind speed, and the humidity. So it's as simple as anything that would affect evaporation will affect how quickly water moves through the plant, and this is the rate of transpiration. So for example, to make it faster, the rate of transpiration, you would have an increase in light intensity, an increase in temperature, an increase in wind speed or air movement, and a decrease in humidity. Now we'll look at this in a bit more detail. Now, the rate of transpiration can be measured, and biologists tend to use this piece of equipment here, which is called a pedometer. Now, by using this piece of equipment, you can change a factor that can affect the rate of transpiration, for example, the amount of light or temperature, and note the change in the rate of transpiration by measuring how fast this bubble moves along this glass tube, which has measuring markers on there. So as the water is being taken and lost out of the plant, this bubble will move up here, and by timing how long it takes to go a certain distance, we will be able to find out the speed at which this happens, or the rate. Now, first of all, we're going to look at the effect of light intensity on the rate of transpiration. So we can see here from the graph that as you increase the light intensity, the rate of transpiration also increases. But eventually, at a certain point, it will begin to level off. So as I mentioned before, during the day when it's light, the stomata are open due to photosynthesis happening, and in the dark they are closed to prevent the water loss. So when light intensity is greater, more stomata will open. This allows more water to evaporate out of the leaf, so the rate will be faster. As we can see on this graph, as we increase the temperature, the rate of transpiration increases. Now this is a linear relationship, and the reason that this is because as the temperature increases, the water molecules will have more energy, so they will move faster. This will allow them to evaporate from the leaf quicker, so the rate of transpiration will increase. In this graph, we can see that as the wind speed increases, the rate of transpiration also increases, but eventually will begin to level off. So imagine that this is our leaf, and underneath you can see that we're getting water being moved out of the leaf via transpiration and is building up on the underside of the leaf. Now here we're going to get some air movement which will move this water from the underside of the leaf. So we can see now that there's a lower water concentration outside the leaf compared to inside the leaf. This is then going to cause the water inside the leaf to evaporate and diffuse outside down the concentration gradient and build up again underneath the leaf. Now, the quicker that this air movement happens, the steeper the concentration gradient and the faster the rate of transpiration. So as we can see here, that increasing the humidity decreases the rate of transpiration. So a low level of humidity down here means a high level of transpiration. So as an example here, we've got very humid air, where the air contains a lot of water molecules. So because the concentration outside the leaf is high, we are going to get a very slow rate of transpiration. And if we look at this the other way, if there is low humidity, we've got a low concentration of water outside of the leaf, and the rate of transpiration will be high because the concentration gradient will be steeper, so we'll get movement of water from inside the leaf outside the leaf, and this will increase the rate of transpiration.